Walt Disney, December 5th, 1901 to December 15th, 1966, was an American interpreter, animator, voice actor, film producer, a pioneer of the American animation industry. He introduced several developments in the production of cartoons. As a film producer, Walt Disney holds a record for most Academy Awards earned by an individual. He won 22 Oscars from 59 nominations. He was presented with 2 Golden Globes, Special Achievement Awards, and an Emmy Award along with honors. Several of his films included the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. It all started with a mouse. Born in Chicago in 1901, Disney developed an early interest in drawing. He took an art class as a boy and got a job in commercial illustrator at the age of 18. He moved to California in the early 1920s to set up the Disney Brothers Studios with his brother Roy. With Ub Iwerks, Walt developed the character Mickey Mouse. In 1928, his first highly popular success, he also provided the voice creation in his early years. As the studio grew, Disney became more adventurous in introducing synchronized sound, fully colored theme strips, Technicolor feature-length cartoons, and technically developments in cameras. The results seen in features such as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Fantasia, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Bambi, featured in the development of animated film. A new animated and live-action film after World War II included the critically successful Cinderella and Mary Poppins, the latter of which received 5 Academy Awards. Walt's theme parks. In 1950s, Disney expanded to an amusement park industry. In 1955, he opened up Disneyland. To fund the project, he diversified to television programs such as Walt Disney's Disneyland and the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. He also improved on planning the 1959 Moscow Fair and the 1960 Winter Olympics and the 1964 New York World's Fair. In 1965, he began to develop another theme park, Disney World, here in Florida, the heart of which the new type of city, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, Epcot. Disney was a heavy smoker through his life, and he died due to lung cancer in December 1966, before either park or Epcot projects were completed. Cultural icon. Disney was a shy, self-depreciating, and insecure man in private, but adopted a warm and outgoing public persona. He had high standards and high expectations for those of whom he worked with. Although there have been accusations of racist and anti-Semitic, they have been contradicted by many who worked with him and knew him. His reputation changed over the years after his death from a privary of homely patriotic values to a representative of American imperialism. He nevertheless remains a very important figure in the history of animation and the cultural of U.S. history, where he is considered a natural cultural icon. His film work continues to be shown and adapted. His studio maintains high standards of production of popular entertainment, and the Disney amusement parks have grown in size and number to attract visitors in several countries. For my comparison, I decided to compare Walt Disney and J.K. Rowling. They were both masterminds, started from humble beginnings and with hard work and pure passion, they made it. J.K. Rowling is the writer of Harry Potter. 7 years after graduating from university, Rowling saw herself as a failure. Her marriage had failed, she was jobless, with a dependent child, but she described her failure as liberating and allowed her to focus on writing. During this period, Rowling was diagnosed with clinical depression and contemplated suicide. Her illness inspired the character known as the Dementors, soul-sucking creatures, introduced into her third book. Rowling signed up for welfare benefits, describing her economic status as poor, as it was possible to be in modern Britain without being homeless. Walt Disney also had a similar struggle. Walt Disney, in the mid-1918, he attempted to join the United States Army to fight against the Germans, but he was rejected for being too young. After forging the date on his birth certificate, he joined the Red Cross in September of 1918 as an ambulance driver. He was shipped to France, but arrived November after Armistice. He drew cartoons on the side of the ambulance for decoration and had some of his work published in the Army newspaper, Stars and Stripes. Disney returned to Kansas in October 1919, where he worked as an apprentice artist at the Bremen Rubin Commercial Art Studio. There he drew commercial illustrations for advertising, theater programs, and catalogs. He befriended a fellow artist, Ub Iwerks. In January of 1920, as Pre Rubin's revenue declined after Christmas, Disney and Iwerks were laid off. They started their own business, the short-lived Iwerks Disney Commercial Artist. Failing to attract many customers, Disney and Iwerks agreed that Disney should leave temporarily to earn money at the Kansas Film Aid Company run by A.V. Segar. The following month, Iwerks, who was not able to run the business alone, also joined.